welcome back. Thanks for joining me. I am Chef Jill Holland and A Spoonful of Hope, and I am live from my kitchen. Oh, I'm really excited. It came right up today and I don't have to go searching for you guys. So yay! So be sure to say hi if you are on, and welcome to all of the viewers. Just a quick bit of info that's really fun. Last week, we hit 2 million meals distributed into the community from our central kitchen just since March 23rd. So that is really super exciting. We are happy that we are able to put out that, put out all that food in this time of need. Those meals are going to families, school kids, and seniors. If you're just joining me, be sure to say hi. Thank you to all our viewers who watched our last episode. That is going to be Nosa E, Greg G, Kenny N, Anna C, Carrie W, Lynette L, or Lynette J rather, John D, Judy K, Adelia N, Lisa M, Danielle M, Tony P, Shelly H, Katrina M, Christina D, Israel S, Gail K, Mindy O, and Tony P. So thank you for liking the video last 2 weeks ago. I know a whole bunch more of you guys watched the video, so be sure to like it, be sure to share it, be sure to comment on it. Even if you're not watching live, comment on it, ask questions. We can see those comments come up later, and we'll answer any questions that you might have. So be sure to comment. So we are going to, Nosa, hi, good to see you. We are going to get to cooking. I already have some stuff on the stove. We are making one of my favorite flavor combos today, and that is honey caramel apples. What screams fall more than a caramel or candy apple? And in my opinion, nothing beats caramel, hands down. Love caramel. Super easy recipe for the caramel. It is 1 cup of heavy cream and 1 cup of honey. Maria, hi Maria. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching, make sure you're saying hi. I can't see all the names come up, so make sure you say hi. But that's all you need. You're going to put it in a saucepan. We're going to come back over here to the stove. I had it, I'm actually going to turn the heat up now. I started this because it does take almost half an hour to get it to the point you need. You're looking to get this up to 260 degrees. So there are different kinds of thermometers. This is a candy thermometer. This one can be a little tricky when you're making caramel, because you actually, for this, you have to stir it a little bit, and you kind of, every now and then you can scrape the sides. And because this is clipped on your pot, it's hard to scrape down those sides. So you can use a digital thermometer. You can use, I've got this big giant long-stemmed meat thermometer, and that can clip on the top edge, or you can just hold it from the clip. Just be careful that that clip doesn't get really hot. My digital thermometer has a plastic clip on the back. If yours does too, this is words of advice right here. I have done this before. Don't clip that to the side of your pan, because that is going to melt. That plastic clip is just for the chef's pocket. So we are going to wait for this to come up to what's called hardball stage, and that's 260 degrees. You can see it's already boiling. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that, I'm going to move these out of their way, but those are our 2 simple ingredients. That's all there is to it. If you want to add a little pinch of salt, you can. If you want to add a little touch of vanilla, you can. But none of those are absolutely necessary. So we are going to do our apples a couple different ways. We're gonna dip some, but I'm going to show you some of the tragedies of doing caramel apples wrong. I'll show you those in just a second, because we had some wrong moves yesterday, which was kind of ended up with a very funny mess. So I do have the apples that we are going to use today in the refrigerator. You want to keep them super cold because that's going to help set that caramel on your apples. Aren't these so pretty? I like this one that's really polka dotted. It's just really pretty. I like a tart apple to go with my caramel apples. I'm going to steal this one to cut up because we're going to dip some apples also. So I'm just going to cut some apple wedges and take out the stems and the seeds while we're waiting for this. All the while, I'm going to keep checking back here to my caramel. All right, so we're at about 220 right now. You want to make sure that you have a pot that is a lot bigger than what you think you're going to need, because that caramel, as it boils, it grows, and you don't want to boil over. So I'm just going to cut the core out of the apple. You saw I just kind of did that on an angle. Okay. Cutting wedges. All right. Be sure to say hi. I've had a couple little hiccups every now and then. So if I don't say hi to you right away, make a couple more comments or something, even if it's just like funny faces or something, because for some reason, I don't always see every comment right away. So, just cutting those into wedges. And I'm going to put those on my plate here. If you notice, I'm not pulling the apples apart just yet because I don't want them to oxidize. I could also toss them in a little bit of lemon juice, or if I wanted a little bit more tartness, I could do a little bit of lime juice even. So, and that'll help prevent them from oxidizing. But we're going to keep those over there. Where are we at now? So, like I said, this takes a little while. We're still kind of at that 220 mark. I'm going to use my spatula. Make sure if you're using some kind of spatula that it is okay for high temperatures. You don't want to melt your spatula. So you can do the dipping part with kids. I definitely do not recommend having them work with this really hot sugar and honey, because that can be a very bad burn. But so we're just going to kind of keep an eye on this. I'm going to turn our heat up just a little, because sometimes it hits that plateau and it'll just sit there. So you got to increase the heat just a little bit to get it over that edge. But some really exciting things are happening that I'll talk about while we're waiting for the caramel. Next week, October 30th. Can you believe it? A Spoonful of Hope turns 2 years old. We're so excited. And we want to thank everybody so much for all your support of the products and of the culinary training program, because remember, all of the proceeds from every purchase that you make goes back into our culinary training program. Nosa, who's on here, I believe you are a student. Give me a thumbs up or a yes if you. And I know frequently our graduates come and come on and watch. Kenny, who joined me several weeks ago, he's a graduate. So we thank you for all of your support over these last 2 years. We have some things cooking, so I can't tell you exactly what we have in store, but I gotta tell, I'm dying to tell somebody because what we've got cooking is so fantastic. So, no, sir, I can't answer that question. All right, so we're creeping up. It's still going. So we're gonna give that a little stir. We just don't want it to burn to the bottom. There we go. All right, so we're almost at 2:30 now. Like I said, it takes a minute or two. This is the part that takes some patience. But unfortunately, it's not one of those things that you can walk away from, because if you walk away, you're gonna have a mess on your hands. And yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. See, we're gonna check it with all the thermometers though. Let's see how fun this is. You guys might be able to see this one just a little bit better. As long as I don't. Be real careful of that steam too. I am steaming my fingers a little bit right now. So yeah, it's creeping up. A little bit at a time. So, hi Shelly, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. So we're looking for, like I had said before, we're looking for this to get up to 260 degrees, and that's that hard, it's called hard ball. It's one of the candy stages. So you have the soft ball stage and you have the hard ball stage. You have basically what it is if you were to take a glass of cold water and put some of the drops of the caramel in there, as it cools, that soft ball is going to be really, just like it sounds, soft. That hard ball stage is going to be more of a harder candy, but still pliable. It's not what's called a hard crack stage. We're going to get there eventually, folks. All right, here we go. Another key to this, getting to stick on the apples. Like I said, you have to have the apples very, very cold. In fact, I'm going to put these back in the fridge while we're waiting. But you also want to wash them the night before in hot water. And because they put a wax on the apples, and if you don't wash those in hot water, that wax is going to stay on there, and as soon as you dip your apples, the caramel is just going to slide right off. No matter how cold your caramel is, it's going to slide right off. So, hi Shelly.
I have a question.
Aaron has a question.
So is the temperature harder to control in this to get it right because it's honey and not just straight sugar?
Yes and no. Honey is what's called an inverted sugar, and I don't know all of the science behind all of the different sugars, because I'm a cook, not a baker. But yes, you actually have to get it hotter by just a little bit than regular sugar for a caramel. Good question, Aaron.
Yay!
Yay! It's also a little more difficult to control because I'm on electric here and not gas. Over at Second Harvest, I was using a gas stove. We were able to get this up to 220 or 260 in almost spot on 25 to 30 minutes. So if you're joining us, say hi. I want to say hi to everybody. Tina, hello, good to see you. So we're looking for that. Okay, so we're at that softball stage right now. So that is, I'm not used to this particular thermometer, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So it's at about 230, 240. Yeah, it's at about 240 degrees now. So it is hot. And if you can see, I know Erin's been coming over and showing you, but see how the bubbles are changing? You can see how thicker they're looking now. And I'm gonna stir that just a little bit. I mean, you can see it even on there. Just how I'm stirring, how much thicker it is. Once it gets to this stage, that temperature is going to jump up like all of a sudden. So this is where I really want to keep an eye on it. And it's just going to keep boiling away. So while we're doing that, I'm going to bring the apples over, but I'm going to bring them real close so that I don't go far away. And we're going to put our skewers in. Now you can use popsicle sticks. You can go to any craft store and get like a really heavy duty skewer specifically made for these. I have skinny little, it's like a kebab skewer. So I'm actually putting 2 of them in there. I think it's kind of cute. I like it. If you're using a popsicle stick, because it doesn't have a pointy end, all right, we're at 250, 255. Because the popsicle stick doesn't have a pointy end, you might need to take a paring knife, just a thin paring knife, and actually slit the top a little bit so that you're able to push that in. Okay, so I'm just gonna, because I'm actually gonna, as soon as I skewer them, I'm gonna put them back in the fridge because I want them to be super cold. All right, what are we at? Oh, we are there. Okay, so I'm gonna take it off the heat. Okay. And be super careful because all of this caramel is super hot. All right. So I'm going to put these apples back in the cooler for now. The fridge. Sorry, Erin. And I have a bowl of ice. And this smaller bowl here. Okay. Be careful doing that. I'm probably going to sling caramel on my hand, and that would not be good. Okay, so I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to use a towel because I need to hold this one-handed a little bit. And I am going to take this. So I've chilled this bowl in the ice. So I'm going to take it out of the ice right now because I don't want this to like solidify as I'm pouring it out. But I do want to cool it down. Sorry, I don't know if you can get a good angle. Greg! Hi, Greg! I'm going to try and not look at my computer screen too much right now so I do not dump 260 degree boiling hot caramel onto my feet. Okay, so now I can look up a little bit. Be careful when you grab hold of that bowl again because it is going to be hot. So I'm going to cool this down. Hi, Judy. Hi, Tina. I feel like somebody else said hi. Greg, I love that gift. That's very cute. What else? Ooh, I like the pumpkins. All right. So you can see it thickening up. I'm going to take it off a little bit. I do want to cool it down, but I don't want one part of it getting too cold, and then you're going to have clumpy caramel. We don't want clumpy caramel. So I'm just going to kind of keep going back and forth here. And I'm going to cool it down. Get it in that ice. I can feel it sticking to the bowl. Almost as soon as I put it over onto the ice, I can feel it sticking to the bowl. So there are a couple different ways that you can make your caramel apples. So this, of course, is one way. I was talking to my neighbor today, and she makes all kinds of awesome confections. She does like caramel wrapped and dipped, chocolate dipped pretzels, and she's been making caramel apples for like 20 years. And she gave me the tip of, instead of dipping your apples, you can actually take the caramel, put it out on a sheet pan that has parchment on it, let it cool off that way, and then cut sheets of your caramel, and then wrap your apple. And then you kind of don't have to deal with the mess of dipping, but I like making a mess in the kitchen sometimes. Doesn't that look delicious? Like I said, caramel is anything caramel is great to me. So look how, ooh, yummy. I forget what commercial it was a few years ago. I forget what it was for. It might have been Milky Way or something like that. But they posed the question, pool full of caramel? And my answer is always, yes, please. So we're gonna take that off. I just had sorry, we're having trouble playing the video. You getting that warning too, Aaron?
No, I'm still seeing it.
Okay.
It still says live.
All right, well, if you see any comments or anybody coming on, you gotta tell me.
Still says 7 are watching.
Okay. Good. So this is definitely thickening up. This is looking really good. All right, so we're gonna let that sit for just a few seconds, and then I might come back to the ice bowl, but I'm going to show you what happens when A, you don't cool the caramel off enough, and B, you don't wash your apples and take that wax off. You get this mess. So they looked pretty good yesterday, a little thin from the dipping, but they looked okay. There was a little bit of a pool of caramel on the paper when I left work yesterday. I got into work today and they looked like this, just naked apples sitting in a pool of caramel. So you need to wash your apples and get that layer of wax off. Otherwise, your caramel is not going to stick. Look at that. That is so yummy. You guys do realize that as soon as we go off the air, I am just eating all of this caramel and gaining 400 pounds, right? Yum. Okay, I probably won't, but it sounds good, doesn't it? Let's see if I can get you guys back here real quick while we're waiting for this to... Oh, yay! I'm back. Okay, so Maria says she's not having problems. Loves the video, Jill. Yay! So this is looking absolutely delicious. It's sticking to the spatula real nice. So we're going to get not these apples. I'll chop those up later and dip them. We're going to get these really cold apples here. And we can move the ice out of the way now, I think. And we're going to move this out of the way. What I'm going to do with that is with whatever caramel is left, we're going to put it in the bowl, and that's what we're going to use to dip. And I have chilled a little sheet pan. I just put that in the freezer. You always want to use parchment paper or wax paper underneath your apples because otherwise they're going to stick to the pan too much. It's going to be a lot easier. And if you're doing that sheet technique that my neighbor suggested where you put it out on the sheet pan, you want the parchment paper also, because otherwise it's going to stick to the sheet pan too much and it's going to be an absolute mess and disaster. So I'm going to real carefully, okay, this still feels really, really hot on the bowl, so I am going to bring that ice back over because I want this to be beautiful for you guys and not an absolute mess. Shelly, I would love to send some to West Virginia, or you can come visit me. I have a feeling, has my cousin ever come to Florida to visit me? Maybe twice. I've only lived here 36 years or 38 years, or I'm not about to do the math here on air. Hi, Gail. Good to see you. No, all the caramel is for me, Gail. It's all for me. All right. So I'm not going to cool it anymore because it's sticking to the bowl. So, but it is still really hot. I just want to make sure that it sticks nicely. I think it's going to do it. We'll find out. It's going to be a bold move. See how it works out for us. All right, so we're going to take the apple. Like I said, oh, that looks so flippin' good. Oh my gosh. The last time you were here was when Bailey turned 5. By the way, folks, Bailey turned 18 this year. I think it's time for you to have a trip to Florida, Shelly. Dee, oh my gosh, doesn't this look fantastic? All right, so you can see kind of the drips here. So I'm going to let it drip off, but I'm also going to kind of swirl it a little bit and let it get coated all over. Dee, you're having trouble viewing. Try rebooting. I had a little bit of trouble also. Try reloading. Shelly, I think you're lying that she just turned 17. I mean, she's only your daughter. How would you know? All right. So, oh my gosh, this looks so good and nice and thick. And it's sticking because we let it cool down. We washed those apples, and this is just going to be fantastic. So what you can do also to add a little bit to this, you know, because there's not quite enough calories here, you can take, now look right here. Either I didn't get all the wax off right there, or I hit a hot spot of caramel. I think it's the wax probably, because I can actually feel kind of a little bit of something on there. So make sure you scrub those apples really, really well. Let's try it. Let's see if it sticks there. Maybe, I don't know. It's sticking now. I'll take a picture of these tomorrow also and post it. And if I have naked apples again, then we're gonna call my neighbor and get all her tips. How's that? Sounds like a good idea. Oh my gosh, I love caramel. And this smells so good. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I used the orange blossom honey on this one. I think the sweetness from it is really gonna lend itself well to the tartness of the apple. And you want one of those real strong flavor. Oh, I wonder if this is getting too cold now. I don't know. The bowl is still pretty
Here, I'll
warm.
see.
Oh, Aaron's gonna test it. I'm gonna grab some of that.
No, that's okay.
The caramel isn't real.
Oh, it's not?
It's warm, but it's not hot.
Yeah, it is definitely thickening up.
Oh my gosh, that is so good. Yep. Okay, the next 20 minutes is just going to be video of me and Aaron licking caramel off our fingers. Okay, maybe not. That wouldn't get very high ratings. All right. Yep, it's thickening up too much. That's what it is. So I can always warm this up a little bit more again, and it'll stick. But for now, that's kind of a sad looking apple right now.
We'll just focus on this first one.
We'll focus on these. These two are beautiful. And those are setting up nicely. So I'll have to warm that up and re-dip this one later. But what we're going to do also is, you know, if you also don't want to go through the trouble of dipping the apples, that's where the wedges come in. So I'm actually going to put these back in the fridge and let them set for at least half an hour so that that caramel really sets up in there. And my fridge is too much of a mess right now. Okay. All right, so we're going to put any extra caramel in this bowl right here. Okay, a little bit of a mess. Yeah, that's hardening up quite well. Quite well. But I have some left over from yesterday also. And you can just use that as a dip. You can add a little bit of cream cheese to this if you wanted to also. That would be really good. Ooh. You could spread it out on the sheet pan, and instead of dipping any fruit in it, you can make just caramel candies. Okay. That was my happy dance. You know it. All right, it's really, really good, guys. The tartness from the apple, the sweetness from the honey, so good. I love it. I want my pool full of caramel right now. Okay. So don't forget to go to our website, aspoonfulofhope.org. Remember, if you use Facebook 10, you get 10% off of your full purchase. And guess what, guys? Right now, we have awesome holiday gifts on the website. All kinds of different gift baskets. You can create your own gift basket. I pulled it up. We've got honey trios. We've got the honey bears. We've got different kinds of, just everything. Check out the website. Be sure to look at all the different gift baskets. Make this caramel. It is fantastic. Next Facebook Live is November 5th. And I will be making a special recipe. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. I'm going to be making a special recipe provided by Eola Coffee Company. We're going to be partnering with them. Shh. Keep that to yourself. Put that in your pocket. If you're a big fan of Eola Coffee Company, like we are, check out our next Facebook Live, November 5th. We're going to be making something absolutely delicious. Thank you guys for all your support these last 2 years. Our students love you. I love you. I miss you. Be safe. Be healthy. Wash your hands.